Hello. I hope you're having a pleasant day out there. So in the game that I'm working on, I have this thing right here. This is a beacon thing that the player wears on their belt. And right here, this is a parking space, a designated parking space. This is the camper. This camper serves as the home base where the player can go in and check out all their achievements and spend time in a different place if they wish. Previously, it was just the camper, but I've tried to, I didn't have the landing pad yet, and I thought, well, a good way to signify you can park your camper here is to create a very uniform place that the player will learn, oh, I can put my camper here, and this is how I do it. So in the very beginning, you'll show up in the camper, and then you'll realize you can take this out, it hangs on your belt, and this appears and disappears. I've been working on a cool show that happens when it does appear and disappear. Now, this is the third version of it, and you can see that it doesn't quite work yet. That's because some visibility flags have been lost in between the other versions. So that's what I'm working on today. Here we are at our camper. We're going to try it out. You can see there's a black line around our camper, which shouldn't be there. That is a visual instance artifact that must be dealt with in the future. The way that I'm doing this effect is there's a model of the camper that's much lower res, but it's slightly bigger. So let's see if it works. When I do this, it should trigger an animation that makes the second camper visible and then makes the camper invisible. Let's see. There you go. So it worked, but there were artifacts left over that'll need to be taken care of. But that's cool. The reverse should happen when Funman places the thing. So what's going on here is there are 3 different instances of that beacon that are on his belt. There's one that's on his belt all the time. There's one that's in his hand all the time, and there's one on top of the machine all the time. And through timing, they're made visible and invisible. Perfect. Except for the decal at the bottom that should have faded in and out. I'm not sure. Okay, also I don't know why that instantly happened. Okay. Back to the drawing board. Let's look at our code together. That'll be fun. I guess the new version of Godot is going to show a tree of where the functions go, which will be really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that, playing with that. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're calling functions from an animation player. And because of so many different moving parts, the signals have become a bit confusing. Okay, these two here trigger functions inside Funman that make the beacon visible, so they have absolutely nothing to do with this one. This one here, this makes the beacon visible in the machine and makes it invisible in the machine. We have no problems with that. Camper model visible. This is our initial. This is the real camper. And I guess by default it's visible because you'll see it visible in the beginning. So Funman place beacon. Place beacon. Okay. This this triggers the animation inside Funman. This await is Beacon leaves his hand. So here, camper teleport, player play, camper appear. So inside camper appear, we have camper show version visible. The show version visible is the outer core with the shader applied to it. So, visible true, visible false. All right. Oh, okay. So our decal is unfortunately inside here somewhere. Okay, we just got to move that outside of that node. But now, oh, it still worked. Okay, so that's the decal issue, because the camper node was this camper node and triggers with a different name, so that's why. So it should appear camper node invisible. Once this flash gets like that, it's hiding, and then let's try that. Let's see if that works. Okay, the camper is in place, the decal is there. When I take this out, the decal should fade away. Okay, that happened. So let's place it again. Okay. So is that funky thing going to happen again where it instantly disappears? Yes. Oh, poodles. I figured out the issue. It was just I forgot to reset the visibility in one of the players. Awesome. So, a remnant of the last version was a particle effect that I called departicles. So it instantly vanished, and I still have that left over. I thought that might be a fun little flare to trigger right after it goes away. So let's make a function here. It looks a bit redundant, but that's how I've figured out how to call it from an animation player. And I don't want to cause a race condition there, so oh, I haven't saved it. You gotta save the script for it to show up. There we go. Insert key to particles. To particles restart. Maybe we could add some maybe in the future. Let's see if that works. I also added an Omni light inside, but outside the node itself, because the node has a visibility and visibility quality to it. And something I just thought of while this was loading, that could be a normal issue from the model inside Blender. So let's look inside Blender. Let's look at the face orientation. Nope, that's not it. Worth a look. let's watch our buddy here depart, and then hopefully restart the departicles at the very end for a little bit of flair. Hello, the Omni-Light lit up, and departicles. There you go. Try it again. Cool, everything worked. And let's make sure the bug is gone. Okay, now in theory I know why that shit's showing up in the background, but in practice I'm not fully aware. There are a lot of different moving shader parts in this, and that's fine. That is a problem for the future, so the basics work. The last thing I'd like to do is make some cool sounds to make it a little bit funner. So let's do that. Alright, I found something that I liked. Maybe I want to add a little bit something extra to it. That's not... It's been so long since I've used these, I forget how. Let's see if it allows me to do that. Nah, too squealy. No, absolutely not. Type thing. Nope, that's a little too aggro. That is very aggro. I don't think I like the what's doing that? Well, that's interesting. Of course, I can always go back and update it in the future. Where'd you go? Okay, I'm going to export that as an OGG. Alright. Transport. Drag that in here. Make it logarithmic. And I'll put it on the SFX bus for the moment. It is a stream. Does it loop? No. Here, we're going to reference it. Down here, I'm going to make a function. Play transport sound. Now, here's a little fun trick. If you'd like it to play at a random pitch, so it doesn't sound exactly the same every single time, transport pitch scale equals random float range, and between 6 and 1.1. So that is makes it a little bit lower or a teeny bit higher than transport. Flight. Saved. We can go to the teleport player and we can trigger that from our animation player. A new method. I don't like overlapping functions at the exact same time. Okay. Are you ready? That's pretty neat. That's a Okay, just to be on the safe side, we're going to go back to our function, and as soon as it's called, we're going to stop the sound because it is so long it could overlap. And that should be enough. Okay, so what we're testing for here is to ensure that the function cuts off the sound. It would appear that for the time being, our protagonist's camping problems have been solved. I'm sure there's extra flair and fun that can be added to it, but I am quite happy with the results for today. If me actually going through the steps of making this is something that interests you, please like and subscribe, smash the like button, leave a comment. This will help the algorithm. Most of the times these videos don't get more than 30 views, which is kind of a downer, but if you guys like me talking about the methods behind things, I'd be happy to do it more. I'm just not usually a very chatty person. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'd like to thank the good people on Kickstarter who helped get this ball rolling, and my buds at Patreon who stick with me while I try to figure this all out. And I'd like to thank you for watching. And I look forward to sharing more Funman with you in the future. It is very exciting for me to have sorted this problem out. Now, Funman can park his camper wherever he wants. And before Funman goes, he's gonna get a coffee. Have a great day. Thank you.